Good afternoon. My name is Deanna Benjamin, and I am going to describe the book Anne Frank Remembered that I read over this summer. So, talking about one's personality, it cannot always be summed up in the big five. Those traits being extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and openness. But recent theories have broken these traits down mainly to describe a person and their personality. Typically, these terms are formed and described with adjectives such as someone's nice, calm, happy, or outgoing. And what they actually mean is extroversion is someone that is outgoing and they experience positive emotions. It's also the opposite of being an introversion or shyness. Agreeableness means caring for someone else, getting along well with other people, and the opposite of that being argumentative, combative, and self-centered. Conscientiousness is someone that is organized, ambitious, and self-controlled, but the opposite of that being messy and unmotivated. They are also impulsive. Neuroticism covers the negative emotions such as worry, anger, and the opposite of that being calmness and emotional stability. And the openness experience means being interested in trying new activities and also their beliefs and their value systems. The opposite of this is the conventional and less comfortable with the change. So, like I mentioned, the story that I read this summer is about Anne Frank. She was a 13-year-old girl that was born in 1929 in Amsterdam, Germany. Her and her family went into hiding for roughly 25 months because of their belief and their religion, being that they were Jewish. So when Hitler came into power, they were forced to go into hiding. So they did that actually in the back of her dad's factory and were able to have people that were there to help them and keep them in hiding for nearly a little over 2 years that they did this. And they actually did this with another family and a single adult male. So Anne Frank, she was Jewish, but she was very spiritual. She displayed a warm demeanor to many. She was also very intelligent, charming. She was very self-aware and sensitive, but she was also often impatient. She was also known as a know-it-all a lot of the time, but she was very open about that, and she was always very determined and fun-loving, and she always displayed some high expectations. So the big five being extroversion, she was very high in extroversion. She was also cheerful. She communicated her thoughts and feelings a lot with people in both her writing and speaking. She kept a journal, and that was what was later published by her father. And granted, she didn't live a very long life. She only lived to be 15. But she looked up a lot to her sister, and she constantly spoke of her feelings and how she was not the good child. But she was very social, and she also didn't sit back in the corner very often. On conscientiousness, the display of this was in many ways. She was very dependable, but she also kept very quiet when she was told to. She minded her own business by occupying her time to write. She wrote her feelings down in an organized way, and she was also very persistent in her behaviors. She, like I mentioned, told people how she felt, and she never cared about sharing her feelings and holding back on those. Neuroticism, she was very emotionally stable for her age. Being in hiding for, like I said, that long period of time, she displayed excellent manners. She used her time very well, but she was also very low in neuroticism because she found, like I said, the reading and writing to occupy her time. Like I mentioned, she was very mature for her age, so being in those close quarters and confident, she coped very well with stress. She had to give up a lot in her life, such as her friends and school, and actually her personal cat that she was very fond of, to hide out. And agreeableness, she showed many traits of agreeableness. She was very kind, but she also had to be. She was truly honest to those around her. She constantly was speaking her mind about how she felt, and to live in such a horrible situation, she wasn't always happy about it, but she made the best of it. She showed great generosity by sharing her space with another adult male that wasn't even family. And to be honest, this would not be acceptable in today's society. But she didn't find it to be as much of a problem because they thought it would be more inappropriate for her older sister to share a bedroom instead. Openness, not knowing Anne and her situation to the fullness, she was open to this experience, and she was very aware of what was happening around her in the world, and she was very tuned into this, and there was a lot of conflicts that she was faced, but it was very long and gruesome, and she was just very tolerant of the circumstances. Along with that, like I said, this has been a great book, and I have learned a lot about her and her personality, and I hope maybe you would all take the opportunity to read this great book of her and her story. Thank you.